Okay, everyone, we'll be right with you. Running a couple minutes late, but we'll be there about 3 or 4 minutes. Just hang tight, please. Quick audio check. Okay, everyone, let me just get us started here. I'll tweak my camera to the side a little bit. There we go. Okay, welcome. I'm going to do a quick fade down, fade up, just so I can flash myself on when we're starting the video. Okay, and let me see where Ryan is, if he's had a chance to log in yet. He is here. We're adding him now. And we want to get right with this one. There we go. All right. So I apologize. Maybe a little bit of an echo here. I'm working on an audio problem, but that shouldn't affect the training class. I just didn't get my headsets aren't connecting, basically. Anyway, so welcome to Hunting for Homes Real Estate 101 training. Ryan, can you hear me and everything?
Oh, I can hear you just fine.
All right, cool. All right, so I guess we'll start off with the Independent Investors Association. As a member of H4H, we will get you certified with the Independent Investors Association. What the IAA is all about is the ethics and skills required to do wholesaling correctly, too many wholesalers get into this game and they don't know things like equitable interest, they don't know how contracts work, and they don't use these things, which makes them dangerous to the buyers and sellers out there. So everything we're talking about here is how to do ethical and profitable wholesaling. And by profitable, I mean, Ryan, we've had, I think, 2 deals in the last month, each of which closed on nearly double what we paid the people. I think we each took home like 15,000 from each one of the deals, which in our market is large. I know other markets it's not. And these deals took us less than 10 hours. So wholesaling can be extremely profitable when done right. Average wholesale take home is like 3, 5, 7,000 in this market, but you really have to know how to do it correctly, especially when you're dealing with bigger proceeds, because if you don't do it correctly, first of all, you might end up getting fined. Second of all, you might lose the deal. And third of all, criminal stuff is not impossible if you don't do it right. I know of at least one person who's spending 7 years as a guest in the state because he purposely did a lot of things wrong. So what we're talking about is how to do it right. If you ever question what's ethical, if you ever question that what we're doing is not, please contact us. Second thing is we have to cover this part and say that we're not lawyers. We're going to tell you best practices. You're going to be a part of our team, part of our company. But if there's ever a question of, gee, are we qualified in this state, then we will, or you will, or one of us will be contacting an attorney in that state. Or if there's any question about what's legal, we will certainly advise you or bring us into with an attorney. Anyway, so let's start real quick with what is wholesaling. And so wholesaling involves an A. Oh, really helps if my pen is turned on. Wholesaling involves an A party, a B party, and a C party, which is us. A is the seller, B is the end buyer. And I can see my handwriting needs a lot of work on this thing. Okay. So party A wants to sell a property. They do want to do it fast. They want to do it cheap, usually. And they want to do it without involving any realtors and pretty much going direct to seller. We step in, and I'm going to put C up here just because it's covered on the thing. We step in and we take a contract on that property. And that is the first and most important thing, is that we have an equitable interest in the property. So this direction here, us, we are taking control of their property through a binding written agreement. And that agreement allows us the right to assign that contract to somebody else. And so here's the biggest distinction that we have to always remember. Wholesalers don't sell real estate. Whoops. Really helps if I'd done that. Sorry. Messed it up. Hang on.
And I think while Steve is getting that ready, I think it's important to point out sometimes wholesalers, I've certainly had it, and I've told Steve, wholesalers don't even have a property under contract. They don't have equitable interest, and they're trying to pass it off and sell us a property, which is a big no-no.
You there, Ryan?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, it went silent in my headphones for a second, but yeah. So basically, it's important, like Ryan was saying, it's important that the contracts and the deals we do, everything is done properly and in writing. Too many wholesalers don't do it that way, and that's what's causing states and cities to outlaw or change the rules on wholesaling. Maryland is currently considering a law, I don't know if it's Maryland or the city of Baltimore, that'll basically outlaw wholesaling, saying signing a contract is not legal. And as I explained to the representative down there, all that's going to do is trigger a lot of lawsuits. If you think Dean Graziosi, if you think Fortune Builders are going to stop dealing in Maryland, no, they're going to hire big ass lawyers and go after you. What we do is when we put a paper contract here with this seller, that contract allows us to assign the deal. Now, the important thing is when we're advertising the property, we are not advertising the property. We are advertising our equitable interest in the property. Was there something else you wanted to cover, Ryan? I don't want to kind of plow through that point.
No, I think you make a great point, Steve, because we see too many wholesalers trying to offer up equitable interest that doesn't exist in a property, which is a big no-no. So, like to your point, get the contract, get it signed before they do anything is really the best practice.
Exactly. And I know it sounds like we're going into a lot of deep stuff real fast, and this is not a matter of you remembering it all. It's just a matter of being aware of what the boundaries of our licensing is, even though we're not really licensed. So we have an assignable contract, which means that you can change the name. Our assignable contract, we are paid an assignment fee. Wish I could make better letters. And once that assignment fee is agreed to, then the buyer takes over our contract. So that's what's happening here, is that our contract is then executed by the buyer. That's why when we advertise our properties, we are advertising a contract on whatever address for sale. Real estate agents, licensed agents, brokers, realtors, whatever, those of us with licenses can sell property. I'm literally advertising when I'm a broker, when I'm wearing that hat, I'm advertising 123 Main Street, and you're buying 123 Main Street. The deal is between the seller and the buyer, and I'm getting a commission from the seller for having made this happen. A wholesaler doesn't do that. A wholesaler gets paid for transferring their rights in a contract. The things you can't do are anything verbal. You can't advertise my property because I called you up and said, hey, find me a buyer. Can't do that. You can't represent a buyer based on, hey, find me a property. Can't do that. A little bit gray, but pretty much can't do that. You need something in writing saying you are authorized to help this party. And really what it comes down to is equitable interest in the deal. Wholesalers represent buyers all the time. They don't represent them. They work with buyers all the time. But it's a bit of a gray area because what do you actually have? What are you offering? Equitable interest is the stock in trade. That's why we recommend finding the property first. Every time Ryan and I call one of our buyers, we met them almost always through advertising a property that we had. So when we get the next contract, we know Jamar might want it. We know Pedro might want it. So we have a short list of where to start. But we're offering them an equitable interest contract. The other thing you can't do is any kind of relay race, daisy chain, whatever. Your buddy tells you, hey, I've got the right to sell the Empire State Building. Will you help me? The answer is no, not without a joint venture agreement officially giving me the right to work on this project with you and without you showing me you have the actual equitable interest in the property. We do these deals all the time with other wholesalers, but it's show me what you got first. Make sure we get paperwork first.
And we've actually
So
passed
all
up.
of that.
We've actually passed up on a series of deals because they can't provide what we're asking for, and Steve and I won't do a deal if it's not above board.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that we always want to make sure is full disclosure. You always want to be able to tell everyone exactly how you got to whatever conclusion you got to. Disclosures come in several forms. There are state required disclosures, meaning property disclosures, physical, material facts. How old is the furnace? What's the roof like? Lead-based paint disclosure, EPA. Any building in the country built before 1978 needs one of these. But there's also, well, I'm telling you the repair estimate is $15,000. That's not really enough. Here is my estimate of the repair costs. My painting is this, my this is that, my that is that. That's the way we work. When we're meeting with a seller, it's important that we don't just say, I'll give you 10 grand for your house. it's important that we say, hey, listen, other things in the market have sold for 15, 20 grand, whatever. I'm a realtor. A realtor could probably get you that. I'm here to offer you 15 because I got to make money too. You don't want to let anyone ever come back later and say they felt that you dealt with them unfairly. This is what we're here for. So now that we're kind of past that, I want to cover some of the basic things which we want to have you do short term to get off the ground. And let me just don't. All right. So if you don't have one, you want a business email account. I like Gmail, whatever. You want a business account where it's not getting mixed in with all of your family emails, where it looks professional. It's not partygirl123 at Yahoo. It's whatever your business name is, your personal name, whatever. You want an email account. I like Gmail because when you create your email account, you can then sign up for a Google Voice account. And I really need to move where my face is on this image. Okay, I'll do that next time. Account. So you have the ability at that point to then have a phone number. The beautiful part about the Google Voice phone numbers, and I have a lot of them, is that you can have an app on your phone, and when that app rings, you know that's a Google Voice call. You can have those calls forwarded to your phone, and if you don't pick them up, you will it'll end up on the Google Voice voicemail. And they'll only know that business line. They won't see the number it picks up on. And you have texting ability. You have lots of other abilities. So Google Voice is free. We recommend you have 2 of them. There's my fingers. We have one for your main forever, this is your number. And you want to come up with the most memorable set of numbers you can, whatever they have available. You know, what's yours? Something, Ryan? Nope, he's gone.
Yeah. Yep. It's my number, like for one of the cash home buying websites, is it's a really catchy number. It's 333-8050, and it just flows really good. It's very easy to remember. So we recommend that if you can, get something catchy, something you can remember, something other people can remember, because at the end of the day, that's a number that you can brand. You can actually build a brand off of it.
Exactly. And if you get to the point of building a website, it's the same thing. You want an easy, memorable website that people can pick up on a drive-by. So, like WeBuyHousesInPennsylvania.com. Well, that's going to be really easy to know. If that's all they see, they know what Ryan does. You don't need that right away. Your own website. We are your website, Hunting for Homes. That's the other reason that you're with this team, is that's our brand name. We are a business in a box where we will hold your hand through all your transactions. We're not leaving you out in any aspect of it. And basically throughout all of it, Hunting for Homes is very easy. People know what it is. Oh, you guys are house people. Okay, cool. We got it. The next thing you do is you create a Facebook business page or profile. And I'm shortcutting here. You want a Facebook, you want Instagram, you want LinkedIn, you want Twitter maybe. You want to be on all the social medias. And again, this is a separate profile from your lifestyle. 2 reasons. One is you don't want uncle and everybody posting all of your real estate contacts having to deal with that. I'm sure they don't care about your babies. They care about your real estate. And 2 is you want to make this page, this Facebook business page, as professional and as frequently posted as possible. If you have to steal content from us, do it. If you find an article and you can repost and say, saw this on Bigger Pockets here. I have hundreds and hundreds of different things you can borrow, or you can be like, hey guys, I'm out here. Or you say you can, if you have a property under contract, you talk about that. Whatever. This business page is all about real estate. The visible you get, the better. When you go to your meetups in your local area, and you should, your Hunting for Homes card with your contact information, which we'll send you the design. You print your own cards. Your Hunting for Homes card with the contact information and everything, and you pass that out. It's all about getting yourself as visible as possible. And once you have the Facebook and you link with us, what you do is you take that Facebook page and you join Buying Houses in My Town Facebook group. You join, and I know you're going to be loving this and annoyed by this. Join the chits, join the classified ad groups, join every little towny group you can in whatever region you're focusing on. And let everyone know, hey, listen, I'm here to buy houses. Hey, listen, I'm da-da-da. I'm here to buy houses. If you got a deal, we pay finder's fees. All of your friends, all of your circle. Hey, have you ever made $250 legally in 5 minutes? Well, no, how do you do that? Well, if you send me a property deal, I'll pay you a percentage, not less than $250. So you have the ability to leverage that network. You also want up for a Craigslist account. And I'm actually just trying to find my Craigslist screen here. You want to sign up for a Craigslist account. Have that ability ready because we will need that. Using Craigslist, we're using it for two things. We're using it when we have a property to advertise. We're advertising there. And we use it to run two types of other ads. One, until we have a property in your market, or you can use one of our properties if you want. You can post 3-bedroom, 1-bath, Wilkes-Barre, $24,000. That's one of the deals we have, one for about double that, but that's one of the deals we have. And cash buyers and people who have cash in your market saying, we would like to buy that property. What you're doing there is you're collecting contacts. You're also going to run, some sort of an ad on Craigslist. We buy houses, cash for keys, whatever. You want to watch your local community groups and you want to let the people know. If you're a tired landlord, call us. If you're, distressed property, call us. If you're an estate, call us. We're here to help solve people's problems. So this is the basic series of setups of what you want to be doing when you are getting yourself organized in the business. Now, I'm going to go through a quick idea here of how to evaluate property when you get a lead. I'm skipping for a second the getting of the lead. We're going to cover that at the end because that's going to be the next most important part of this. But if we look at, I want to cover this fast because, there it is. Because people always take a look at Zillow. Of course they do. It's the elephant in the room. And I hear all the time people come to me and say, oh, the Zestimate is $67,200 on this property. Therefore, the value is $67,200. And I can tell you as a real estate broker, as an owner of this property, and as someone who's turned down offers of 3 times that on this property, that's not the value of this property. Zestimates are a dumb algorithm done by the computer with really they don't have the right guidelines in their algorithm. So what you do, if this is the address you're looking to comp, you click out of this, switch this to sold, set your home type. In this case, it's a multifamily. Go to more. And more is totally optional, but on more, you can say, okay, it usually pops up and says sold within, oh wait, you know what? It didn't take the sold I did over here. Apply. Now in here, you can sometimes scroll down. It still isn't. Oh yeah, sold in last. Sold in last. You want to be 6 to 12. So we'll say 12 for purposes. of this. So boom, now I can look around and I have a home type to keep my multifamily at 2. Okay, fine. Oh, okay. Well, this one's possibly interesting. It's a little smaller on the square footage. And you literally start looking around and saying, what are properties in this area having sold for? And you're looking for 2 types of values. You're looking for what it is in its current shape. Are there anything like it now? What it is it when we finish it? So this is a quick way for you to know if someone calls up and if you get in touch with someone, they say, oh, I got a 3-2 downtown Wilkes-Barre, needs complete rehab, and I want 90,000 for it. You can do a pretty quick glance and say that's probably not the right number. So we'll get deeper into this in future classes, but just showing you that Zestimate is not the way to do it. If you are using Zillow as the tool, you can use it this way and get pretty good information. But it's all about the human looking at those listings and saying, yep, I think that one looks right, and opening it up and saying, oh, okay, this one is right. So when you're running your estimates, your ARVs, you can do it with Zillow. It's not the greatest tool, but you can do it this way. All right, so backing up a second, when you are driving around your city, this is the other way to find properties. And there are some softwares we can fill you in on if you want to, for doing this. One of the best softwares and is, well, 2 of the best, I guess. ONX Hunt, or which is literally on this X we hunt. It's a hunting software. And that will give you the boundaries of the property. It's a little app. You pull up to a house, you tap the button on it, and it'll say, oh, here's what the property lines look like. Oh, here's the name and tax address of the owner. And then we'll help you skip trace it from there. We'll help you get their phone number, whatever. The other software that I use, and I like this other software. So ONX Hunt is $25 per year per state. So it's not an investment that's really all that hard to accomplish. This other one is about $100 a year for the whole country, which obviously is a better deal per state, and it gives more information. It will about 60% of the time give you an owner's phone number. Is called HuntWise. And again, I realize money is very tight for a lot of folks, well, for all of us, of course, but again, these are small investments. Business cards are small investments. Flyers are small investments. Posting an ad on Craigslist for $3, we're not talking big money here. HuntWise is the other one that does similar to ONX Hunt, but it sometimes gives you the phone number. I have both. I figure, you know what, for $150 a year, I'm good. I can do both. Also, HuntWise does nationwide. So, and you can also enter the address. So if someone calls you, hey, my address is da 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 da, or hey, I found this home at this street. You can enter that stuff. And so with these softwares, when you're driving around, you pull up on a dilapidated house, you pull up on a house that looks vacant. Great. Immediately, I do this to Ryan all the time. I'll pull up on a house, I'll screenshot the HuntWise or ONX Hunt, shoot it over to him and say, hey, can you skip trace this one? The third way to find the owners of properties. Go back to PC. There we go. The third way to find owners of properties. There. Every county, or again, in Pennsylvania, this is done by county. Maybe it's done by city in other communities. I don't know. But every county in Pennsylvania has a website. And every county website has a few different things of interest: a property search and tax sales. We'll get to both of those in a second. Property search. You can enter the address if you have it. You can enter the last name. I'll enter my company initials because I know deeds are going to pop up. Okay, there we are. These are the legal descriptions of the property. Owner, tax address. Now we know where they're getting their tax bills sent. So if we can't find a phone number, we can always send them a letter or drive there or whatever. Further down is property location, and it tells you the assessed value, which in my market means absolutely nothing. The assessments are all wrong. And tells you if there are delinquent taxes on file. So you can learn a lot about a property. You also, when you get a name of an owner, search that name. Because, I mean, I'll use a dumb example for this, but, okay, Mr. Smith, John, give it a second. There. Look at Mr. John D. Smith owns a lot of stuff. So if I'm talking to John about one of his properties, maybe he's interested in selling something else. So basically, this is a couple things you can use your courthouse tax website to learn about a property. And the next kind of general thing I'll cover is the tax sales. Now, this is very state specific. There are two kinds of states out there when it comes to tax sales. There are tax lien states, Florida being one, where when a property goes delinquent on taxes for a period of time, the government will hold an auction, and the auction is not to buy the deed. The auction is to pay that year's taxes and then get a lien on the property. I bought a tax lien in Florida. I just did like 2 of them in my life. I don't play a lot with tax liens, so it's just not something not saying I don't like it. I just don't do it a lot. And I don't know, I spent like $2,000 to buy the lien, which made that property current for that tax year. And this is a strategy where you're looking to do one of two things. You're looking to get paid off by that lien and some profit. So the government will say, you know what, you give us $2,000 for the lien. When they pay off the lien, we're going to charge them $2,200. We're going to charge them at 10%, whatever the state has set for their thing. Okay, great. I know. In the next year, I can get $2,200 on my $2,000, or a year and a day later, I can foreclose on that lien and possibly leverage my way to owning the property. Pennsylvania is not one of those states. In Pennsylvania, when you go to a tax sale, you're buying the property. I walk out the door, the gavel comes down, I win the auction, I walk out the door, boom. In Pennsylvania, there are 3 primary sales. There's the upset sale, which is the first one they come to, about 3 years after not paying their taxes. And that you'll be very upset if you don't do your research, because you will owe the mortgage on the property. Guy said to me, hey, it's great. I walked out of the upset sale. I only spent $20,000 to buy this property. I said, oh, nice. You know it owes $450,000 to the bank, right? Well, yeah, but the tax sale, that cleared it. No, it didn't. It was an upset sale. Now you owe $450,000 to the bank. You're better off walking away from your 20 because the property ain't worth that. Private sale is you can make a purchase between upset and judicial. We'll not deal with that. And judicial sale is free and clear. A year after, if it doesn't sell at upset, it goes to judicial. If it doesn't sell at judicial, it goes to repository, which is literally a buy it over the counter list. As wholesalers, we're not looking for tax sales for that purpose. We're looking for tax sales for two other purposes. The first purpose is when these lists come out, upset and judicial, they come out about 30 days before the sale. A good strategy is go to the owners and say, hey, the knife is at your throat. The government's going to take your property in 30 days. How can we help you? The one I like to do is when the upset sale is over and they post the unsolds, I got a year before these people go to judicial. So I got plenty of time to get there, meet with them, see what they want to do. Maybe they want a private lend. Maybe they want a private borrow. Maybe they need to sell it. Maybe whatever. They want to list it. Anything they want to do, we can help them with. So the unsold from whatever your state's first tax sale is a good place to start. The other thing we always want to be doing those of us who aren't lazy and too busy to deal with it like I am. But what I loved doing a few years ago, and I recommend everyone do, is go to the auction. Every auction you can. Go to the tax sale auction. Go to the sheriff sale auction. Sheriff sale is mortgages, tax sale is taxes. Go to private auctions. The one thing you know about the people standing in the room at an auction is they all have cash. Auctions don't take, well, they sometimes take credit cards, but they don't take any kind of debt. You can't go to an auction and say, gee, now I'm going to apply for a mortgage on this property. No. In Lackawanna County, the county a little bit north of me, right after the gavel comes down, you have 3 hours after the end of that sale to bring all the money. In Luzerne County, you have 24 hours to bring all the money. And if you don't, not only don't you get the property, not only do they penalize you, but you don't get to bid in the next sale. So everyone in that room, my favorite tax sale story was I was sitting there buying some stupid, I had like $5,000. I was going there, big baller. I had $5,000 to spend. And I sit down, the guy in front of me, large, balding, older white guy, Bob Stackhouse, became a really good friend. He's got this film projector, slide projector case, if you guys remember the oversized suitcases, stacked with cash. And then he has a 3-ring binder, 6 inches thick, with all sorts of color printouts and stuff. And he buys like 40 properties that day. So I decided, okay, I got to know what this guy knows. I never learned everything he knows, but he certainly taught me a lot about tax sales. When you're at those sales, and about investing in general, when you're at those sales, you want to make sure you try to introduce yourself to as many people as possible. Try to mingle before and after the sale if you can. And if you see a guy like Bob, go up to him, have a conversation, say, listen, can I buy you lunch? Can I pick your brain? Because clearly you've been doing this 25, 30 years by the time I met him. What can you tell me? And they're usually more than happy. Most people at a tax sale, yeah, we're competing for the deals. Fine. We all want the same property, but we're not really competing. It's like, that's the beautiful thing about real estate. There is no competition. There's a competition to get the deals, but once I have the deal, lots of people want to buy it from me. And that's my same argument for why everyone on this podcast, everyone listening to this, should get your real estate license. And you should be licensed for 2 reasons. One is you can't get paid by a deal that can't be wholesaled unless you're licensed. Meaning, before Ryan got licensed, if he brought in a wholesale deal and I ended up listing it, there was no mechanism in the state of Pennsylvania for me to pay an unlicensed person. So Ryan did work to bring me the deal, but I'm the only one that got to make the money off it. That's just state law. 2 is, if you're a wholesaler and you say, well, I'm sorry, there's no value in wholesaling this property, you get up and you wasted your time and effort. Whereas, hey, you know what? I can't wholesale your property for you. We couldn't come to a deal there. But maybe we can list it for you. You at least have another tool in the box. And 3rd is you get access if you join a real estate board. You get access to the MLS, the multiple listing service. So you get to see what deals have expired. You get to see what things are selling for on the market. Much better information than Zillow. All of that. So this is a quick rundown of what you need to do to get your business off the ground. So our assignment for next week, we'll keep it very simple, is 4 things. First, we sent you a JV agreement. If you haven't returned it, please do, because we need an official relationship for us to be able to work on deals together. We need an official relationship that describes how you get paid. And I'm going to cover that last in a moment. 2, you want to get your, switching screens here, you want to get your Gmail account set up. You want to get a Google Voice. And I'm saying Gmail and Google Voice, I don't care what technology it is, but something that fills these roles. An email account dedicated to your business. A voice account, possibly 2, dedicated to your business. You want to get your Facebook set up, your social media. So those are the 4 things. RJV, your email, your phone, and your social media. Get those 4 things set up. The reason that we're saying get 2 voice accounts, 2 phone numbers, for lack of a better term. You want one for your business cards. You want one for your flyers, for things that aren't, I like to say, get you in trouble. And then you want a different number for your bandit signs and things like that. They're called bandit signs for a reason. And I'm actually logging in to show you a couple from one of our partners. You have bandit signs for a reason. These are the ones that are ugly and say, we buy houses, call this number, whatever. Okay, I guess this is going to be more of a pain in the butt than I thought it was going to be. It's funny, I logged in on that yesterday with no problem whatsoever. And those signs are called bandit signs because where you put them, you don't have ownership of. You're putting them on the side of the road. You're putting them on telephone poles, whatever. And technically, those are usually illegal locations. Some towns don't allow them at all. Some towns only allow them for 24 hours. You want the number on that to be a throwaway number. So if you get harassed by whoever too much, it doesn't really connect to you. I'm not saying you should break the law. If you do get a call to remove it, you should go remove it. But that's why you want 2 numbers. And we'll walk through in future courses, training, what's a good and bad bandit sign. This is a great flyer. This is a great business card, maybe. This is a good postcard. It's a horrible bandit sign. Bandit signs are billboards. They're drive-bys. People going 10, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour past them. That's too many words. Your bandit signs should be much, much simpler. That could be a bandit sign. That's it. I should grab one of Ryan's, but this is one of Mike's, but that's it.
You know,
when you see that, you know what it does, you know how to reach him. A phone number would have been good. I'm not sure why Mike didn't do that, but whatever. You want your bandit signs to be simple.
And what I'll do for people here is, and I'll just put this into the chat window. I own a billboard. It's a 6x12 billboard off a highway, and people can check that in the chat when they want. But I'm sending it in the chat. It's a real live image of an actual real life 6x12 billboard that I use. It brought us the last deal that we got. It was a spread of about 26,000, give or take. And the guy literally saw the billboard, and that's what got us the deal. So even if you just started and you're just getting out, whether you're just doing a small little bandit sign, you know, or you're doing something more involved like the actual ad that I just put into the chat there, like a gigantic billboard, whatever your budget, whatever you're doing, like Steve's saying, like this stuff, this will get you. It only takes one deal. And, you know, you get a couple grand, you get a lot more, but that's all it takes. Once the money's there, you've now got some advertising revenue and you've got some profit built up that you can build up your new little business with.
Yep. That makes perfect sense. And all right, so the last thing I'm going to cover, and I was hoping my tablet was going to cooperate, but I see we're having more technical issues. All right, so let me go to Miro over here. Our payment structure, oh, they're both having fun. There we go. Our payment structure for our members is this. Wow, it's loading slow. All right, anyway. So 10% is what we are going to pay you if all you do is bring in, here's an owner's name and phone number and an address. Anyone who does that has earned their 10%. So that's if you do nothing else. If you just say, hey, listen, I just want to send you guys leads. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with them after that. This is our leads. Now, we are willing to pay people who bring you leads additional money, typically $250, $500, something relatively small. And all of this is paid when you close, when the deal sells to somebody else, when money is there to be spent, frankly. 25% Wow. Much easier on my tablet than it is on the screen. 25% is for what we call more, which means you're providing supplemental help to the deal. You're staying involved to make it a warm introduction. You're actually getting on the phone with the seller. Hey, my uncle's selling a house. Let me get you on the phone with him. And you're staying involved in a peripheral level, distance from the project, but when we need you, we can call on you. Then you're going to make 25% of the spread between what we're getting it for and what we're selling it. And sometimes, and for people who are more involved, we're giving you half for what I call full involvement. And there are, of course, grades in between these, but full involvement means you're doing everything throughout the process. We're helping you do everything throughout the process, and we're literally team members side by side. And this is the way we typically work with people, honestly. But the other ones are there if you're doing lesser, if you're less involved. We have other team packages and whatever that we can talk about if that becomes a reality. But really, most people are doing this here or this. They're either just throwing names and phone numbers and addresses and saying, here, good luck. Or they're saying, I actually want to run my own business with Hunting for Homes. And that's where it's more typical and larger payouts. And that is what we're offering here. This is not a training class that is like, hey, come learn real estate and go off on your own. You want to do that? We do offer some paid training. This is partnership. This is business development. This is you being part of us, which has several advantages for you. The primary advantage it has is that it's our company. It's our liability. It's our name. So if something gets signed by us and the deal doesn't happen and anybody gets angry, they're calling us. Yes, we're all involved. We're not we're not running away from each other. But also credibility. Okay, can you hear me, guys? There we go. All right, I gotta
Oh yeah, I was going to say we lost you. Yeah, we lost you for a minute, but you're back, so you're good. It looks like we lost you again there, Steve. While Steve's getting his computer rebooted or set back up, I just should mention that, as Steve was mentioning, this is something our company Hunting for Homes is being set up in such a way that we help, people that are looking to get started, like everyone here that's in attendance. Whether you're looking to become a real estate agent, we can help you to do that. If you're looking to become a wholesaler or a better wholesaler, we can help you do that. We can help hold your hand throughout the process. And as Steve was mentioning, the different facets that we can do, we basically will help you get established so that you start making money and you can start to build your company by JVing and working with us. Steve, are you back yet? Can you say something so I can see if I could hear you?
Yep. Sorry about that. I found the loose wire. It's got a bad USB. I got to change out. Anyway, so yes, and basically, when you're new in the game, you're sitting across from a seller. Seller's like, okay, great. I got 45 wholesalers call me this week, and why should I work with you? Well, I'm really young and I'm cute and I read a book. Or, well, I'm really young, cute, and I read a book, and my partners have been doing this collectively or separately since 1997. and they have a capitalization ability to buy property of about $4 million, and plenty of extra money if they need it beyond that by credit. So yeah, you can talk to other wholesalers who don't know your market, don't live in your market, and don't have the ability to actually close the deal, or you can talk to us. I'm the only wholesaler you're talking to that's a member of the Independent Investors Association, and we're an ethics organization. We know how to do it right. We are not going to walk into your deal, make you a promise, and not be able to follow our contract. And if we don't follow our contract, we're going to pay you our deposit. Because of the dealings of other people in the chain, Ryan and I have paid off on our first 2 deposits ever for deals that we didn't get out of in time by things allowed in the contract. So we had to pay the owners. That's okay, because the guy who committed to buy the property, who actually caused the problem, he paid us, so we still made a little bit of money. But you're telling them that we are ethical. You also can tell them, hey, listen, my partner in this, and we are partners. My partner in this is a real estate broker, and the other one's a real estate agent. So we have more knowledge and skill than anybody else you're talking to. And the biggest thing we bring to the table is when we're talking to a seller, we offer typically a 5-week closing agreement. First, maybe are the physical inspection timeline. So that's when we get to go through that's when we bring in our buyers, is basically what it boils down to. If we don't find anybody in that 2 to 3 weeks, we call the seller up and say, you know what? We don't know that we can do this. We're still well within our timeline. Our timeline is 5 weeks. We're telling you at 3 weeks. If you'd like to extend, if you'd like to readjust the contract, if you'd like to talk about reducing the price, we can do all that. But if you'd like to leave the contract soon, that's fine. Too many other wholesalers will give them like 60 or 90 days. And on day, 89, they'll call them up and say, would love to take your house for that absurdly high price we offered, but I'm going to have to offer you 10% of that because it's just not worth it, which really means they didn't find a buyer. So working with us, you have the credibility, you have the capability to close, and you have the ethics organization, and you have our business practice of letting the seller know very quickly. Even though we don't represent the seller, we still should be fair to them. How do we know that there's only a few IIA members out there? Well, we founded the Independent Investors Association because wholesalers were running roughshod. We know who's in it because I run it. So you have a lot of reasons to be working with us on these JV deals. We really want to work with you guys. We'll be back next week. Certainly reach out with any questions you have. I'm going to go replace some USB wires. Anything else we should finish up with, Ryan, or are we good?
Yeah, I'll just end by saying a couple of things. To everyone watching, or either live or via when they watch it on the recording, I would say if you have questions during the week, just type them out and put them in the group chat. Steve and I can see the questions in real time, or if there's something you might want to cover down the road, we can see that in the group chat that we have with our text string set up, in real time, so we can help you out with that. Another thing I can say about Steve and I, in the last, since Christmas time, Steve and I have probably banked somewhere around like $40-some thousand, and that's a piece. We've done quite well with our wholesales. So we're just 2 regular guys that know real estate. We're not gurus. There's nothing special about us. We're just 2 guys that make money with real estate, and we can teach you to do the same thing. We can hold your hand to do it, basically from start to finish. If you're overwhelmed or you have questions or you really want to make this a career, we can help you to do that. And that you can get started by just JVing with us. If you haven't received a JV agreement in your email, just please let us know after the presentation via the group text, and we can make sure that you get it so that you can get on board. I will just end it by saying, Steve, it looks like we got an upgrade to Hunting for Homes, and it currently brought the site down, so we'll have to get it back up and running. But other than that, folks, that's what I got. Steve, I'll turn it back to you for the conclusion.
Yeah, and Ryan, I think what's going on there is we have the web designer refashioning the site for what we are now versus what we were before. Before we were going to run like a subscription thing, sort of territory kind of thing, and now we're doing it a little more of a team model. So I think that might be what happened. He might be messing around. And also we're going to experiment with something next week, and we're not quite sure how well this is going to go. Is we're going to have a free conference call chat room line, a voice line. We can't really do voice on this because it's all broadcast through YouTube. But if you don't want to text your question, we would prefer you do, because then it stays with the YouTube for the future. But we will have like an open voice line. We can be kind of keeping an ear to, whatever. And also, we will give you a number next week that rings to both of us, so that and anything that comes up during the week. We're also going to, once you get your JV agreements into us, we're going to send you the form that you fill out when you get a lead, and we'll walk through all of that in detail next week. So your assignment for this week is get your email address, get your phone number, or numbers, plural, get your social media set up, understand how Craigslist works, and get your account set up and whatever. Basically be ready and start populating those social media and Craigslist with promotion that tells what you are and why you're here, and join every real estate group, every community group you can. Find out where the meetups, go to meetup.com, find out where the meetups are in your area. Do those kinds of things, and you will be ready for what we're going to bring on next week. All right. Any questions? Give us a call or send us a message. All right, guys. Have a good day.